Blue in England a year ago. Apparently some of those transhuman cultists took a liking to her. Anyway, she is in this city for an operation. However, instead, she decided to go down the tunnels with the natives. Treasure hunting, I suppose. Would she survive Hades' halls? We hope she doesn't waste any more time meeting the founder. I have it from good sources. The association has big plans for her. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, we are a bit later. We had to wait for the noises in the background to die down, but we're here now. Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bonsert of Radio Retrofuture, and we are here with two guests of the Stygian Society, Ali and do I call you Pay?
Pay, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, how are you fine people doing today?
Doing well. Waiting for, as you mentioned, we're waiting for the recycling trucks to leave us alone. They picked precisely when we're starting to drive by and pick up the recycling bags.
All right. Yeah. So let's see. Before we continue with the show, and we are going to talk about the Stygian collection and Kickstarter that are currently running. Link is down in the description, of course. First, some domestic announcements. Today we are doing this is the last week of our own Kickstarter, Bound for the Styx, and we are almost at our second stretch goal, just $40 more, so one more pledge away from making these wonderful postcards that are the book covers of The Wrench in the Machine and Bound for the Styx. And yeah, these could be yours if there's just one more person supporting us. And yeah, what else? And of course, you can also everyone who participates in the Kickstarter will get this wonderful background that you see right now. That can be yours for just $1. So yes, it's gonna be wonderful, and we've got amazing new artwork in the works as well. And with that, let's head to our guests, Holly and Pei. So yeah, well, Holly, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll continue with Pei.
My name is Holly Rhiannon, and I have a channel here on YouTube where I do sort of creative writing education, and I share some of my own work. I've been at it for 2 years, but I have been writing and creating art for much longer, my entire life. Both my parents are artists and writers, so I was kind of born into it, and it's definitely my passion. And I love promoting communities and bringing creators together, so starting this project is kind of the perfect thing for me.
All right. And Pei, what do you have to add to that about you,
Uh,
yourself, and the project?
yeah, I'm Pei, and I have a channel, Attention, where I'll discuss philosophical works primarily. So that I'll begin moving more into, and as well as a lot of fiction, sci-fi, and whatnot. So as Stygian, I'm one of the editors on Stygian, and that's my main thing. I that and contribute, of course, but as far as all the technological side of the whole project, that's Holly's end. She knows more about that. So yeah, I'll just be editing the stories really.
All right. Well, we've got the link for the people who want to see in the video description, so you can look at that at your own leisure. Well, what is the Stygian collection for those who are completely new to it?
Basically, I'll start by telling you what the Stygian Society is. It's our small press. We're based in Montreal, and our goal is to create beautiful books about life and death that you will want to devour. And we focus on quality literature, well written, enticing, and we enrich these pieces with remarkable original art. So that is our wider goal, but we are just launching. So to launch, we decided that this was actually Pei's idea. He gives me a lot of credit for things, but this was his concept. We decided to give back to the YouTube community by starting with an anthology featuring only author tubers. So the Stygian collection focuses on the general theme of Stygian, which means of or relating to the river Styx or to Hades, dark, gloomy, infernal, hellish. So we tried to leave it kind of wide open to interpretation. And with that, we got a lot of amazing submissions that all focus on the darker sides of fiction, sometimes straight up horror. We've got some dystopian futures, some sci-fi, philosophical musings and reflections, and some poems as well. We have a total of 24 authors and 26 works. And we actually just found our signed our illustrator officially today. So a lot is going on, and a lot of people are going to be promoted, and I think it's going to be a very cool publication. I've, of course, read through everything, and it's very exciting. I think a lot of people who like horror and darkness will enjoy it too.
All right. Are there any other books being offered during your campaign?
Yes, Pei and I are actually offering our own books as add-ons, and you have some books that are going to be added as well when the Kickstarter you're running is complete. So I think that's in a few days, just under a week, right? We'll be
Yeah,
adding those into.
Saturday it's over. Then that's Friday is the final day to pledge on my Kickstarter, and that will also is also down in the description if you wanna look. So go check that out. We also have various illustrators, so and various examples of that, and also the sticks. So yeah, it's actually a very good addition to your theme. It literally has a location called the sticks. But yeah, please
Yeah,
continue.
I remember thinking that was awesome when we first started talking about collaborating and you were submitting your story to our anthology, and then you sent me this Kickstarter. I was like, it's perfect. Stygian and Styx, it's a great partnership.
Yeah. A matter of fact, one of Holly's books is on offer on my Kickstarter as well. I forgot the title. With demons, about demons.
It's a time when demons.
Oh yeah, a time when demons. Right. Yes.
It's
Right.
it's a sort of witchy young adult book. It was my first publication that I got out there, and it was a NaNoWriMo project. So it's about a couple years old now. So I wrote it in 2020. And yeah, if you like sort of the occult and a murder mystery, it's a good book for you.
All right. Pei, you are also writing. What kind of stuff do you write about?
Yeah, I have a short story collection out, which was my first publication. That was about 6 years ago, and I just recently published a novella, The Peril in Decline, which is described as existential fiction. The whole story is just a long kind of metaphor for the history of existential thought from Kierkegaard to Sartre, really. But so yeah, that's really it. I've been working on another novel for a while now. I've just gotten to the editing part of it. So yeah, I guess that's about it. That's what I publish. It's not. I do a lot of essay writing. I wrote for magazines on and off for years, but haven't in a while. So stories here and there.
Yeah. So yeah, where shall we take this? There are two of you, so it's kind of like hard for me to switch. Like, okay, how are we gonna streamline this conversation? So I guess the next question is that I often like to talk about is where do people get their inspiration from? What inspired you to write, and what inspires your current fiction, Holly?
Well, like I mentioned before, it's something I've been doing forever, and I think like a lot of creators, I don't feel like I have any other choice. But my inspiration comes a lot from witchcraft, magic, different eras in history. I grew up a lot on things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and going to comic conventions. I used to run comic conventions, so I'm very steeped in that whole fantasy sci-fi world, and that's very much where my writing goes. The thing that I'm working on right now is a dark academia, though, and that's actually inspired by a company that I work with called Haunted Montreal. And I actually have a second YouTube channel where I tell historical spooky stories from the city of Montreal. And when I was going through those, the founder Donovan is a historian and a teacher, and he does all the research. So there's a lot there. And as I'm going through them and creating them, a lot of things just click together. And now I'm creating a story, sort of pulling on those historic pieces from Montreal's past around the year 1860.
All right. And before we continue on the ghost stories, Pei, what inspires you at the moment?
At the moment, mainly what I read. I don't leave this desk too often, so whatever's around this here. So usually, and though like I said, I do primarily publish fiction. I don't read as much fiction, and so usually it'll be a work of either philosophy or history that'll do that. But I've written sci-fi novels when I have went through a long sci-fi phase, and I still am. I mean, I've always loved sci-fi, but so really mainly what it is I'm reading, I guess.
All right. A question from Margaret Pinard. Haunted Historical City Tour. Is that a dream job?
Yeah, Margaret is actually one of our authors, so it's great to see you here, Margaret. Um, It is pretty awesome. I can't personally do the tours because I'm terrified. Um, so we have a team who does these haunted experiences, and they'll lead people through the old port of Montreal and Griffintown and a couple different neighborhoods. And I then translate everything to YouTube, and along with my co-host Dr. Mab, who does the French version. And I was invited to do the tours because I have a presence on YouTube. When I started trying to practice my
Oh, just a moment. Connection is going
and
bad.
actually
Roboting.
people remembering the script, and I was just
Oh.
so I didn't end up
Pei, are you still there?
but I'm still involved with them very much, and it was like
We've got some massive lag at the moment. Okay, Pei, just... What's going on? I think they've got a...
American is also one of our authors that she's joined.
Okay, what's going on?
I think I'm having audio issues here.
Oh, yeah, Robot Holly. I know.
Oh no, said robot.
I don't think she's hearing me either.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Pei's doing normal now, so... Okay, I think we're back. Oh. And then the... Okay. I think we're back. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay, Pei, yes, I think we're
anyone
normal
can
again.
hear me or not.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
hear me?
Yes. I can.
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh god, now I need to get into my Discord settings. Let me see. Let me see if something went wrong there. I didn't touch anything. No, that seems to be fine. Huh. I need to have like a little technical difficulty sign for my show. Okay, something's moving. How are you hearing me?
I still can't hear anything.
Oh god darn.
I don't know.
Let me see. Audio settings changed. Let me see. Holly, can you hear me?
I don't know if I can be heard now.
I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you too.
I don't know if anyone else can hear us.
In the chat, they are saying that they can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to talk too much, though. I'm just talking in the chat. Audio settings? Well, it seems to be my video, maybe. No, I cannot hear.
Okay. That case, I'm gonna close down for a moment. Oh. What happened? Okay. Chat, you can still hear me, right? Right? Oh, yeah. So, it's a Discord malfunction. Let me see. Interaction required. Let me see. Can you hear me now? Hello? No? Huh. Could you reconnect? My god, I never had this happen before. I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens.
I can hear you now.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, great.
Oh dear. This never
Uh,
happened before.
no, I never had this happen before either. You just started to robot, and
Yeah.
then everything went to hell. Maybe the construction workers hit some
No,
glass,
I
fiberglass or
I
something. Who
don't
knows?
know. There's no more noise outside. I thought we were good.
Yeah,
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 right. As soon as the noise outside goes, then the sound just stops.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're not losing anyone in the chat at least.
Yeah. Indeed. Okay. Well, it's all part of the live streaming experience is to
It is.
see try to host this is resolve the technical difficulties. This is why I don't do any complex things during my streams because it just goes horribly wrong, and
Yeah, I don't know.
so that's the reason for that. And
Bookish
yeah.
says it's all his fault.
Oh, okay. Apology accepted, I suppose.
No.
All right.
Can you
I
still
forgot
hear
where we
me?
were. You were telling us something.
I was, I was talking about the ghost tours, but I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Did I go robot instantly?
Yeah, it immediately punished you right away, I'm afraid.
It's the
So,
ghosts of Montreal. They came and got me in a stranglehold.
yeah, really.
All All I was saying, and hopefully this goes through okay, was that I do not actually do the tour aspect of Haunted Montreal. I was invited to, but it scared me too much. Uh, the founder, he saw my work on here and thought, oh yeah, you can do this, you can talk to people. But as it turns out, sitting in front of a camera and filming alone in my room is very different from leading people on a tour and memorizing a script. So I was terrified of doing that, and I stick to the social media and YouTube realm with the company.
Yeah. All right. But what do you exactly do for them? You write for them, or
So they have a lot of blogs that all are compiled by this historian and teacher, Donovan King, the founder, and they're all written, and I thought they should be translated to video format. So I edit them a bit and I tell them, I do storytelling on YouTube, and then I have a co-host, Dr. Mab, who is also in the anthology, and he does the French versions.
okay? Oh yeah, of course. We've got a bilingual country there, kind of like
Hmm.
Belgium. Now I think about it. Um, but okay. Well, do you have any other creative outlets, Pia?
Hey.
Sorry?
Do you have other creative outlets?
I don't know if I can't, I can hear Holly,
Oh,
so
uh,
I'm not sure. I
okay,
was trying to stay quiet because I'm looking on my phone and I can see Bones are talking,
okay.
but then he's frozen, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
I don't,
Do you
Holly,
have
could you
other
tell Pia to
creative outlets?
reconnect? Yeah.
do I? Yeah, well, I play, record music, or I guess I should say I try to. It's I try to do everything. And I think it's because I'm just not good at any of it. So I just try and keep a steady pace with all of it, and I think it amounts to one thing, I guess,
Sounds
if
familiar.
that makes any sense.
Actually, it does. It does. I know you can hear me, so it's a bit strange. But yeah, Holly, could you tell Pia to reconnect? I think that
Oh
will
yeah.
help.
Yeah,
Um,
Pay, can you hit the little disconnect and then come back?
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
oh boy. Yeah. So, what are there particular themes of the Stygian collection that the authors have to hold on? I mean, I just submitted one of my Association of Ishtar stories, which you enjoyed. So, but were there stories specifically written for the collection, and how did that process go?
Yeah, so as far as I know, The majority were written specifically for the collection. So I know that you had one already lined up. Pei and I both had our works lined up. I actually tried to write something new and just didn't have the time, so I'm going with a couple older poetry pieces because we had someone submit 2 poems, and I thought, well, I don't just want 2 poems in here, so I'll add some more. So we have some poems. But the requirements were very broad, and that's what we were hoping for. We wanted people to interpret Stygian in their own way, really. So they had that basic river Styx, hellish, infernal concept, and the only major limitations we put were that they couldn't go too like gore porn, like way too over the top adult horror that that's gratuitous, and same with the sexual content. So I would say that the book winds up being sort of a age 16 plus readership, although some of them are mature. There's sort of a sliding scale, but I would say if you're about 16, you'll at least be able to understand them. But yeah, that was pretty much the only thing. And other than that, everyone just got really creative. I was worried at one point that we might have too many submissions that were just focused on the actual river Styx and Charon, but we didn't. We had the perfect balance, and I think we have a great variety in the end.
All right. A message from Sheraton Mortis. I wrote my story from scratch doing the sprints, and Holly's Discord server was extremely productive for this purpose. Helped to have that extra support and feedback. Yeah, and Devil's Hair. Do you use demon names in your books, Holly? Think like Ra'um or stuff like Mammon.
Not so far, although I did actually use a couple Egyptian demons, I think, in a piece that I'm writing. I'm working with a company called Lupin Studios to create a storytelling video game that's going to be called Explory Story. I don't know when it's coming out, but I did a few different themes, and one of the short stories in there is an Egyptian one with a couple Egyptian demons and gods. But it's been a while since I delved into that, so I honestly could not tell you the specific names, which is terrible of me.
Oh god, I forgot more than than I'm currently learning when it comes to that regard. Pei, you mentioned you enjoy history. Is that a particular theme in your stories?
In many of them, yeah, not so much in. Well, actually, no. The parallel decline is very. There's a lot of history in that, actually. Actually, yeah, there is quite a bit there. Um, so yeah, it's more. I use that more so for studies like studying, say, researchers, the research reasons, and more so than actually incorporating historical aspects in the work itself.
All right.
But you do though, and in your first book as well, in your collection, Searching for Marilyn Monroe, you had some historical elements in
Well,
there.
Oh, I can't. It does. Though that collection was published about 6 years ago, a lot of those stories were written over 15 years ago. But yeah, so I don't remember most of what's in it. But I do. That is right. The first story is actually historical fiction based off the life of author John Kennedy Toole, who wrote Confederacy of Dunces. So yeah, I guess that is true. You know more about that than I do, apparently.
well,
I think I read it
that's the
more
thing with
recently.
readers, isn't it? They tend to know the world better than you do at some point.
Yeah.
I definitely had that. Sheraton, yes, I remember the first chapter made me chuckle because I got some historical references. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Sheraton also read it recently.
Yeah. Let's see. Are there any other chats I should highlight? Because there's quite some. And if you folks in the chat have questions, I do read it. I can't respond to everything, of course. Yeah, so if you've got questions for me or the guest, let me know. Be free to type them in there.
I
Um,
guess sorry, I guess I should also mention, since we're talking about the books, both of Pay's books and my book are on the Stygian Society website, and we actually did a restock of a couple of them recently. So if you are interested, because I saw someone mentioning a wish list, so if you would like to get either of our books, it's best to buy through stygiansociety.com, because it's better for us.
mhm. That's the purpose of Devil's Hair. That's the purpose of fans. They care for the material so it can be adapted the right way. Who do you ask, Sheraton Mortis? What inspired you to join the Stygian collection? Um,
Probably
uh,
for you, Bonsar.
yeah. Well, Holly emailed me with it, and I was at the time very busy with preparing Bound for the Styx Kickstarter, so I didn't have time to write anything new. I'm right now kind of like getting back into writing. A matter of fact, I just finished the draft of Anwin Adventures in Responsible Doll Ownership, which I'm now looking proofreaders for to give their opinion on the story. 30,000 words, so it's not very long. Yeah, and I'm currently continuing the Casket Girls story, so really getting into the flow of that again. But yeah, it is the story that I finally submitted was. I forgot if I wrote it for something specifically, but it is written as a kind of like introduction story to the Association of Ishtar. So I hope that it kind of um, did fulfilled that purpose. Devil's Hair, that was me about the wish list. I need more Iron Age books, no matter where they are from. But yeah, no money to. Not so much money, so that's fun. I'll have the books one day. That's what she's saying. Yes.
Well,
So yeah.
maybe we'll do contests and stuff, so you could get a free book at some point if you follow
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, or maybe for people who support the Kickstarter at a certain tier or something.
Yeah.
Or when a certain amount of backers has been reached, something like that. And
Hmm.
folks, if you want to support projects like this, but you don't have much money to spend, back them for $1 or €1. That helps them immensely in the algorithms. To get those numbers up. So, somebody joked on Facebook that I was being sarcastic about, congratulating a $1 backer. But no, I was
Oh,
dead
yes.
serious. We need those $1 backers as well to
Hmm.
get the numbers up and have Kickstarter take notice and give it a shout out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like really, every little bit counts. Like we mean it when we say that.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's
supporters who don't have much, like you, are still just as valid and appreciated. Like anyone who's looking at our work and enjoying it, like that's a great thing.
hmm Yeah, and a lot of Kickstarters also still offer digital content for $1 backers, like mine. Sheraton Mortis also sharing these Kickstarters with friends and family on social is extremely helpful. Yes, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
that's
no.
my cat destroying my house.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So,
We're on a one day cat break here. We do cat sitting, and we just had one go home, but another arrives tomorrow morning, so short
mm,
reprieve.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So where shall we take it from here? I forgot. Yeah, that was a question from the chat that I was answering. One tip of Rice can mean the difference between winning and losing, to quote the king in Mulan. I have not seen Mulan in ages, so I wouldn't know, but yeah, it is true. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Let's see. I kind of like forgot where we were going with this conversation. So, is there something
You
you would like to mention, or?
Well, I know you had been talking about the story you have coming out in the book, and I was going to add that I think it does have the desired effect because when reading it, you are sort of plunged into this world and you have to get a sort of quick grip on what's going on, and then by the end of it, you want to know more. So I would say you absolutely accomplished what you're going for with that story.
Yeah, actually, I for those who are interested in my philosophy on world building, I did a whole conversation with one of the book reviewers last week on that. And yeah, and Styx is a metaphor in the book, but it's also a physical location, and how that affects those who live in that city. So if you enjoy like the topics that are gonna be in the Stygian collection, you might find that conversation and Bound for the Styx itself very appealing. Um, so yeah. Anything else you'd like to highlight, like particular offers you want to shout out, or stories you want to promote, stories that hit you personally in there?
Oh man. Well, I would shout out everyone because we've appreciated them all so much and they're also creative in different ways. CM Lockhart honestly came up with one that was a personal favorite for me just because it was a theme that was very similar to something I would enjoy writing about, and it's I don't want to give too much away, but I do actually have we've been putting up little excerpts and also author profiles of everyone as we go on Instagram. So I can read you the little excerpt from that, which is: My heart was a match you lit, but I never wanted to set this world aflame. I only wanted to be a light in your darkness, a warm touch in a cold place. But a gentle love isn't what you needed, and I wasn't what you wanted. So I'll embrace these flames you gave me. And it doesn't give much away, but there is fire and there is a demon. So if you do like demons, there's a demon in that one.
Right.
And
Pay you. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think I know which one Pay appreciated quite a bit, which was a friend of ours, OG Rose.
All right. Could you tell us a little bit more about that pay?
Um, yeah, well, OG Rose is someone who like myself is doesn't study as much fiction as he does nonfiction, but and it definitely shows in his stories as well. So I think that's probably why I would gravitate to it. Um, but he's just as good a fiction author as his essays. So but yeah, it does deal more philosophically and subject matter that is more uh, directed toward that kind of audience. So
Mhm.
All
so
right.
yeah, I think that's probably why I would like it.
It's
But
very artistically written and very poetic, and it makes you think a lot, which, of course,
All right. And what story was that called? Or
olive leaves.
yes.
okay. Yeah. So, is there any other things you've got to highlight besides the books? Anything else on the Kickstarter you want people to be aware of?
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of tiers. We wanted to sort of keep it a little bit tight since this is our first Kickstarter, so we didn't want to get too out of control, but we do have some great rewards, and we actually have some more coming soon, some add-ons that are donated by our authors, which will be fun to announce. But we've got Discord highlighted roles, we've got digital copies of the anthology, physical copies, of course. There are some higher levels where you can get a special Stygian lapel pin, which is usually just reserved for authors, so it's for very, higher level donators. And our top one, you get to have a pizza party with the authors. So we're going to be publishing the book on June 6th and launching it that day. And we're all going to get together, probably on Discord. So hopefully it holds up for us. And wherever you're located in the world, we will set up a pizza delivery for you there that we'll pay for, and you can have a pizza party with us.
Oh, nice, ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm making
And
notes for my own next time.
well, yours has been very inspiring to us. I keep looking at everything you're doing and all the art, and it's just we do plan to do more of these since the Stygian Society is going to keep publishing, of course, and we look forward to growing and creating even cooler Kickstarters as we go, because this is such a learning experience. But I guess one other thing that I would add is just that we have announced our illustrator today, and that is Niall, and she's a local artist from Montreal, and just like way beyond what we could have hoped for. She does just amazing sort of pen and ink stuff, and if you check out the Kickstarter, the recent update does show some of her portfolio, linked to her website and her Instagram, and I highly recommend checking her out. She's amazing.
All right. Speaking of backers, we just got a new one on ours. Thank you very much for donating the $4 user. I will not show the backer report there. So I guess you already mentioned a little bit about you want to do more Kickstarters in the future. What other future plans do you have for the Stygian Society?
Well, we're going to be moving on to publish more classic novels, written by one person. Although the collection might be something that has a second edition, depending on how everything goes. But so far, it's going really well. We have a couple projects in the works, which I can't say too much about, but I will say that Haunted Montreal might be involved in one of the future ones coming up. And of course, the works that Pei and I are creating. And also, we are open for submissions. So if you are wanting to publish a novel, you can send us your submission. We've got a page on the website. We are just, we're not just doing the anthology. It's not just author tubers. We are a small press. So definitely feel free to reach out to us and submit your work and see if we would publish you.
All right. Do you also appear on events in Canada?
Yeah, actually. We started an event called the Stygian Caravan, and we have done a couple of them, but we did them in the fall and then winter hit. And winter is, Canadian winters are not that great for going out. And the way the caravan works is we start off doing readings at a bookstore, and then we go to a restaurant that's a couple doors down, and we all sit in a private room and we have drinks and food, and everyone who's attended gets to collaborate. And we have ways that we want to grow that. So, I mean, if you're in Montreal, keep an eye out for the Stygian Caravan, because we are going to start it up again now that the weather is getting nice and it's a little easier to wander around outside and be creative that way.
All right. Yes, Sheraton Mortis, I appreciate the Stygian Caravan so much. Yes, awesome. I would like to get involved in such activities here as well. But yeah, it's a bit much for a one-man team at the moment. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that develops in the future.
You attend conventions and stuff, just given the style of what you're
I
doing?
want to. I'm still taking it somewhat easy because I don't want to pay for an event and then make it by with just a couple of books. So I'm building up my library, so to speak. Currently, I'm working on with the latest Kickstarter. I've introduced 3 new books, so which are now on the ground somewhere due to the cats. But 2 anthologies and Bound for the Styx, which are best read together. So that if you are interested in Bound for the Styx, I also highly recommend you get the Arkology report, which is all of these stories are the background of many other elements that you encounter in the book, but are not elaborated upon any further in there. I also am trying to pick up the 1-minute videos, the YouTube shorts, to see that does anything. Is
It's
that
been
something you were experimenting with as well?
Yeah, not on my writing channel yet, but I've been doing it with Haunted Montreal and trying to do TikTok a little bit. But as an older YouTube user, it's, TikTok is not something that comes naturally to me. So we've been sort of looking at recruiting younger friends of ours to help us out in that area.
Oh,
Um, just because, I try to post on TikTok and it's overwhelming and I don't want to scroll through it and I don't want to learn it, but I know that it's a good thing to learn because what I have been posting with Haunted Montreal doing tests, it gets a good amount of attention. So
mm.
for the audience, it is good, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm a government employee, so I can't install
Mm,
TikTok on my
okay.
devices.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm
shorts
not
are
sure if it's
good.
gonna
And
last much longer as things are going right now. So, and
that's
it
true.
shouldn't be. It's goddamn spyware.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. Any other particular things you wanted to talk about?
Honestly, our main thing today is just we're excited about our illustrator. We're announcing her. We're promoting her stuff everywhere just so that people can see the visuals since the collection and our publishing house as a whole is very focused on making beautiful books. And this is our first chance to sort of show you what we have in mind. And oh yeah, we do have a contest that we're going to be doing coming up, and it's going to be based on Instagram to win some merch, and that'll be over Easter weekend. So I know it's a little in advance to announce it for social media, but it will be coming up if you want some free Stygian merch.
Where can people follow you on Instagram?
We are Stygian dot society, so Stygian dot society on Instagram. Everywhere else, it's one word. So Twitter and Facebook, Stygian Society, one word. And our website is stygiansociety.com.
All right. All right. Well, you have to leave in about 10 minutes. Is there
Yeah, I'm at
anything
work.
in particular you still want to talk, ask, discuss, mention?
Well, there's so much that between the three of us we cover creatively that I feel like we had discussed having another conversation in the future, so I think
Yeah.
we should definitely do that. There isn't a lot I could get into in the next, few minutes. What about you, Pay?
Well, I was just gonna say, like I'm very new to the whole Kickstarter thing. In fact, I didn't even, had no idea what it was until just very recently. So I still learning it all, and I don't know if there is anything I can do to help yours out. I'm trying to get more into back into society. Really, in fact, I just recently saw just the other day that you had sent me an email a while ago. So I apologize. I never I didn't see it. And so but as far as the Kickstarter thing, if there is like I have boxes of my first book that I have that I can. I'm not sure how the donating thing all works, but I'm sure Holly can help me figure that all out. If there is anything I can do, just let me know.
Yeah, what we're doing now with the current Kickstarter is that I'm offering ebooks, simply because it's simple. All I need to do is give you an email of the person who is entitled to the ebook, and then we arrange the royalties among us. Um, so yeah, for now, for my own Kickstarter, tell your followers why they should check out Bound for the Styx. That's basically it. So some YouTubers have just said, "Hey, this is an awesome book. Go check it out." I really enjoyed. I forgot the name of the story I submitted to you. The Horror of Chateau.
For Chateau, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go tell them how much you enjoyed that, and maybe that will convince 1 2 people to donate before Friday. I don't know. It's one of those things, It's when it. And I mean, I'm sure you walk against this as well. Getting your name out, making people aware that you exist, that you are publishing books. And if they're not buying today, that maybe they'll buy in a year, and they'll buy even more books in that year because they want everything. I'm kind of like amazed how many people bought the entire collection that I offered on my thing. But yeah, people do that, and I don't know why. What's wrong with them? But they do. And maybe that's because there are some reviews of Bound for the Styx out, like Lord Otter, who I had on the show last week, and yeah, people do that, and also the cross promotion on Kickstarter is very effective. I mean, Madeline of the Boston Metaphysical Society shouted me out, and it got me 7 new backers. So
Yeah.
those are not insignificant contributions.
We'll
So,
definitely do a post probably tomorrow just to talk on our Kickstarter about yours being in the final few days. So we'll be doing that. And also, Pay, we do have the trailer up on the Stygian Instagram if you want to share it off of there.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk more in the future. I am
Oh,
on
yeah.
your Discord. I'm not very active there. I should get back into writing sprints, but they're usually I'm just editing when those are happening because I already did the writing, and the editing is the
That's like
most
Pay.
work. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's once the work's done and the writing's done, it's just the post and all the social media stuff. It's so easy to lose interest in that side of it, at least for me.
Well, for anyone who is wanting to do sprints, get back into them, either of you or anyone in the chat, I'm doing Camp Rimo. So that's going to be through the month of April. It's a sort of easier version of NaNoWriMo because you can set your own goal. It can be editing. It can be anything that you need to work on, really, that's sort of involved in writing. You set your own word count. You can announce on the site if you want or not. It's casual. It's just a way of saying, like, let's sit down and work on something every day. So I'm going to be doing study Rimo. I'm going to be studying and researching for my next project and taking notes, and that's going to be what my word count goes to. And I'll be hosting sprint sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Discord, as well as on YouTube on Saturday, all through April.
all right.
Mm.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna talk about that book once it's done here. So
Oh,
let me
for sure.
know how your
Yeah.
process goes. Yeah, and I think we're gonna leave it here, Dan. So, folks, if you have not already, please check out both our Kickstarters. Links are in the description. Like I said, mine ends Friday. Yours ends in July or June.
May 17th, I believe
May
is the precise
17th.
day. We have like just, I think 48 days to go at this point.
Okay. So, yeah, go check those out. Let us know what you think. If you've got suggestions for Kickstarters, let us know. Of course, I'm looking for inspiration for the next Kickstarter, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna be offering because I have 3 books I want to write. Like, the first draft is already done. The other way is about halfway, but I really need to get into the run of that again. And I'm also gonna require a lot of concept art for that one because it's gonna include a lot of military vehicles. And I'm really looking forward to this one. But the story about this little lady, she's already kind of like become the how do you call it? The mascot of the Association of Ishtar, Enwin. So her draft is done for those who want to proofread that. I'm still looking for proofreaders. And the next one is going to be the Coscoot Girls. And after that, the Knights of Avalon, which is going to be as well. I don't know yet. I
Well,
only written some chapters on that. So I'm still figuring out how I'm going to deal with them eventually. And then, yeah, we also have got a comic in the works. So, but yeah, I'm struggling. I'm very happy with the donations because that covers at least a lot of the illustration costs. But yeah, it's I already have I still have a half a comic to pay off with Johan, who does amazing work on the series. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to recruit more authors so we can keep working on the comic and we can keep production up. So yeah, I guess that's my strategy now. It's gonna cost me a lot. Oh well. I love spending money on it. It's...
I think it's
Anyway,
worth it.
yeah. Well, I like to end the episode on some words of wisdom by our guests. So, have you some words of wisdom to share with our viewers?
Oh no. Words of wisdom. Um, I guess I'll just sort of go with I don't know if this is exactly right, but to go with the theme of our whole anthology and what we're doing right now. If you're a creative person, work with other creatives, support them. We are all for each other, not competition. It's much better when you're a community and you can lift each other up because then you all succeed.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. Pia.
I think I'm losing sound again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have some
Oh no.
Do you have some words of wisdom for us?
Listen to what Holly just said. I
Listen to Holly.
Yeah. Listen to Holly. Yes. All right.
it's
So, and if it doesn't work out for you, blame Holly.
yes. I covered my base.
All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode despite all the technical difficulties. Yeah, and again, even if you support our Kickstarters for just $1, that is fine. It still helps us greatly. And like I said, if you enjoy the themes of what you hear today for the Stygian collection, I'm sure you'll also love Bound for the Styx. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you adieu. And as always,